So this is our Christmas tree hoop embroidery kit, and we give you lots of thread and some pom-poms and sequin for the top of the tree. This really is your kit to kind of be really creative and really do your own thing. So start by putting your fabric into your hoop, and you trap the fabric in between the small hoop on the bottom and then put the large hoop over the top, and then tighten the metal screw. So we've included lots of embroidery thread in your kit, and you can choose to split the embroidery thread to get a thinner stitch line, or you can keep it the thickness that it is. So embroidery thread is always made up of 6 strands, and you can use 1 or 2 or 3 depending on how thick you want your line of embroidery to be. Just separate the strands by pulling them gently. The slower you pull them, the less likely they are to get tangled up. We're going to start by putting a pom-pom onto our Christmas tree. So you just tie a knot in your thread, come up through the bottom of the fabric, through the pom-pom and back down. Do that a couple of times just to secure the pom-pom. Now you can choose to put the sequin star at the top of your tree. You can use it or not use it. You could stitch a star shape instead. But if you're using it, just start by using 1 strand of thread, come up through the middle of the sequin and then make a stitch out to each point of the star just to secure it on there. And what can look really nice are French knots, and we've given you the instructions to do a French knot in your kit. They can be a little bit tricky if you're new to embroidery, but we're going to take you through it. The trick is to wrap the thread around your needle heading in the right direction. So you pull your thread through and then hold tight the kind of last 5-10 centimetres. Wrap your thread round with your needle on the top to start with, then push the needle back down as close as to your starting hole as possible. So you're coming up through the thread. With your left hand you're holding a little bit of the thread tight, then place your needle on top, wrap it round twice or 3 times if you want a bigger knot, and then pull back down. And the other stitch we show you how to do in the instructions is a reverse chain stitch. So what you do is make a little anchor stitch, a tiny little maybe 1 millimeter stitch, and then you're going to bring a needle up about maybe 2 or 3 millimeters along, the size that you want your stitches to be, and then go back through that anchor stitch so that you can kind of make a loop. Then you go back down through the hole you just came up from, and that's the start of your chain. So now you can start adding the chains using the last stitch as your stitch to loop through. So you can see the little chain starting to form there. You just go back through and then down the hole that you came up. And I just love this little chain stitch. I think it looks like tinsel on here, and it's such an easy way to do chain stitch as well. It's a bit of a cheats chain stitch, so yeah, we like this one. So we've shown you 2 stitches here, but you could also use a back stitch, which is detailed in your instructions, but just decorate your tree however you want to. Use your style and your creativity. So now we've decorated the tree, we want to finish it off nicely. So cut around the fabric to around 2 or 3 centimetres, and then cut around your wadding using your backing disc as a template. You want a circle of wadding. So that circle of wadding goes into the back of your hoop, then push the fabric over and place the cardboard circle in the back. You just need to push down and it should fit nice and tightly and give you a beautifully finished hoop.